Hello my dear champions, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing good. Okay, so welcome to day 8 of our series 99% in 99 days for CBSE class 10 mathematics. Okay, so I am Ankit Srivastava asking you to join me on the platform of Diksha Vedantu Foundation. Okay, we are doing a very good work here. We are trying to help all of you to score the highest marks centum in mathematics. Okay, so for other subjects also the videos are coming. I hope you're watching it. I hope you're learning from it. Okay, so today's session is what? Session number 2 for polynomials. In this we'll talk about, so we have already learned what is zeros of the polynomial. We have also learned what is some basic definitions of the polynomial, how can we classify it. Now in today's session we'll talk about what, bacha? We'll talk about the graphical meaning. So it's not much given in the NCERT, I understand that. So not a lot of questions are given. I think only one exercise is given, and that has again very less number of questions. But I wanted to do this separately because what happens, so I've seen it in the papers, sometimes in pre-boards, sometimes in Sahodiyas and other papers as well. What happens is case study can come from here. So if a case study can come from here means it will have a weightage of 4 marks. Whether it's going to come or not in your come exam, I don't know for sure, but if it comes, then why to lose that 4 marks? So that's why I've come here to take out all the possible doubts in the graphical representation, because this is something that you're going to learn in higher grades. Okay, so for that reason students don't have very good connection with this particular topic. So I'm gonna take a leap forward. I'm gonna start some and give you some extra information about it, and I hope you will understand this concept. Simple concept. We'll try to complete it as soon as possible, and I've taken some 3-4 questions, and again lot of concepts only. So only concepts, some graph we'll talk about, and 3-4 questions we'll solve, and we'll try to complete this with very confident and very what do you call. So after this approach, I think we should be able to solve any question that is coming, if it comes in your boards. Okay, again it can come, so please do not ignore it. Small topic, but it has its relevance. Okay, so let me start with the session. Coming up first, if you know your classification of the chapter, I've already talked about this. Okay, so first thing is definition and types of polynomials. I've discussed that. Next is zeros of polynomial. This also has been discussed. Next is what? The graphical meaning. It's there in the NCERT. Same, we'll talk about that in the today's session. And the lastly, we'll have it next as relationship between zeros and the coefficient of the polynomial. Again, these two are the questions that can come. So from here also question comes, and from here also question comes. Rarely it comes from here, but if it comes for you, let's say this time, then I don't want you to miss out on that. Okay, because our goal is to score 99% marks, okay, out of marks in mathematics in our CBSE boards, and it is possible, which it can be done. You know that, you have known the results previously for the other students, your seniors, so it is possible, and you should be one of them to score that marks. Okay, all right. So the weightage, if you want to see, we don't have chapter wise weightage. I hope you already know that. Okay, but we do have a weightage per unit. Okay, so in the algebra unit, which is the biggest unit in your portions, 20 marks is coming from there, and so if you can expect 4 to 5 marks, it can be more or less as well. Okay, on an average from polynomials also. Okay, so from the graphical meaning of zeros, you can expect what? MCQs type of question can come. So they'll give you a graph and they'll ask you to answer according to that, or they can ask you a very simple question from the MCQ side, or they can give you a case study for 4 marks and ask you 3-4 questions on based upon a graph. You have to answer that there as well. Okay, so that makes it very, very important. I know you must have solved this kind of questions already, but just for sake, so relationship between zeros and if coefficient of the polynomial, this is again very important topic. You can expect MCQs, 2 marker, 3 marker, 4 marker, all categories of questions can come from here. So they can ask you very good question. So again, this is very high weightage. After this has to be given preference because questions has been asked over here. So moving on, what do we have next? First thing, geometrical meaning of the zeros of a polynomial. So what it means to be, so zeros, sir, zeros are those values of variable which will make the polynomial 0, correct? Which will make the polynomial 0. So from there we can deduce also geometrical meaning. For example, what value of x will make this polynomial y 0? It'll be what, sir? -2. Okay, it means at some point here x equals to -2. Okay, what will happen? You'll find a coordinate which will satisfy this equation. Yes, and if you draw this curve, what are you gonna get? You're gonna get this line like this. Okay, so if you take you're gonna get this line like this. Okay, -2. Okay, so this is my curve. What? Y equals to x plus 2. Yes or no? So the 0 exists. This point is called as what? 0 of polynomial. Okay, polynomial Which one? Y equals to x plus 2. Okay, so how come? If you put x value as minus 2, y will become what? Minus 2 plus 2, which is 0 anyway. So if you have an intersection of the curve, so what I mean by that, any polynomial that you have, whether it is linear, quadratic, cubic, or any ordered polynomial that you have, it will have its own curve, right? For linear we have a straight line, you know that. For quadratic, what we have polynomials. For cubic, again we have a curve, okay, which has, we'll see a cubic curve over here. So for what I'm trying to say is, for all the polynomials that we have, we'll have a curve. So wherever that curve intersects the x-axis, okay, the x coordinate of that curve will be given by, will be called the 0 of the polynomial. That's the significance of this whole thing. Okay, so the curve intersects the x-axis, the x coordinate of that point will be called as 0 of the polynomial, provided what? X is the variable of the, you know, in the polynomial, means the independent variable is x. Okay, chali. So this is very simple. I hope you all understood this. Okay, so I've taken examples of all cubic, quadratic and linear to explain you what it actually means, and we'll plot them on the graph, on the Cartesian plane here, and we'll see. So first one, px equals to 5x plus 2. Again, what type of polynomial is this? Linear polynomial. Very simple. Okay, so what is the way to plot this? You have known to plot this, right? Put x equals to 0, what are you going to get? Y value as 2, sir. 2, sir. Okay, put y equal to 0, what are you going to get? X value as minus 2 by 5, sir. Minus 2 by 5, so less than 1, somewhere over here. Okay, so if you plot the graph like this, you're going to get something like this. Yes, something like this. Okay, what is this point? This point is, forgive me, it's not minus 5, it's minus 2 by 5. It's minus 2 by 5. And what is this? This is simply 2. So which is the 0? This point, sir. Wherever the curve of the given polynomial intersects the x-axis, that is called the x coordinate of that will be called as 0. Okay, so I hope you understand this. So if I have to write this from here, I can write what? I can write 0 is what? The 0 is minus 2 by 5. Minus 2 by 5. Simple enough. Very, very simple. It is simple. It is not that difficult. Okay. Moving on. Px equals to 2x square minus 8x plus 6. 2x square minus 8x plus 6. Okay. A very good question. How will you plot this? So it's a quadratic function. Okay, polynomial. How do we solve any quadratic polynomial? We have learnt in grade 8, wherever we have learnt algebra and factorization, we know that we can factorize it. Okay, so we can use either identities to factorize it, or we can use what? The tree method, the split the middle term method. So let's use that. I can see there's a 2 common, so I can take the 2 common. So after doing that, I have this left after simplification. Okay, I can make factors also. So let's continue to do that. I'm gonna get what, bacha? I'm gonna get x square minus 3x minus x plus 3. I hope there's no doubt about this. Okay, I can explain you this point as well. Multiply the first and the last term. Okay, multiply the first and the last term. So x square times of 3 with their signs. Okay, so what is you're gonna get? 3x square. What are the factors of 3 possible? So only 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. Now write x and x next to each other. Okay, x and x next to each other, and then take what signs, whether adding, subtracting. What can we do to 1x and 3x to get what? Minus 4x. Middle term we have to get, right? So I can put both places with minus and add them. So minus 1x and minus 3x. If you see, what is the product? If you multiply these two, what are you gonna get? You're going to get simply 3x square, because minus into minus is plus, and 3 into 1 is 3x square because of the 2 x's. So I have 3x square value over here. Okay, I hope this was visible. Alright, so this is 3x square. Please have a look if it was not visible earlier. So I can write this 3x square as minus 1x and minus 3x, which is same thing as minus 4x. Same thing as minus 4x. That's why I've written here minus 3x minus x. I know you know, but if somebody is not knowing, let's make them also understand this concept. So I can factorize it over here as, so x minus 3, and I can take a, okay, I missed an x over here. Let me rewrite this step, bacha. So I'll put a bigger bracket over here. I'll put x, I'm taking common, so x minus 3, and I'm taking minus 1 common over here because minus x is there, no? So I'm taking minus 1 common over here. I'm getting what? X minus 3 again. Okay, so I can again take common x minus 3 from the given 2 terms that I have. So I have 2 outside. Will become x minus 3. I'll become what? X minus 1. How come? I've taken x minus 3 from here. So what is left in the first term? X is left. So x is written here. What is left in the second term? Minus 1 is left. So minus 1 is written over here. Yes? Okay. So basically I have reduced my polynomial px to 2 times of x minus 3 times of x minus 1. Okay. Now you can clearly see from here, to make this polynomial 0, what values of x will be? Good enough. Okay. Put x as 1. Who's x as 1? If you put x as 1, this will become 1 minus 1. How much is that? 0. So the whole thing will become 0. And next I can put what? X as 3. So both values 1 and 3 are the zeros of the polynomial px. So 1 and 3 are what? Are zeros of px. Okay. Now I want to give you some additional information. I said no. Lot of things that is, even though it is not in part of your syllabus, sometime the questions has been asked like that. Okay, because the curves are given in your NCERT textbook, so that's why the questions has been asked like that in your this thing. So I'm giving you some additional information. Why I'm giving this information? Do I need it, sir? No, you don't need it, but giving information because it will give you reason for it. Means what you will know what to do. I can give you simple step. So after this curve, draw it like this. But I'm giving you reason about it. Okay, I'm giving you little additional information about it. Whenever you see a quadratic polynomial, the curve of that polynomial will be what? A parabola. A parabola. Doesn't look visible. I'll write it again. So whenever you have this type of equation given, so you'll have the curve as parabola. Okay, the curve will be parabola. I hope this is okay. Now there are two types of parabola. What is parabola? First of all, the U curve. We call it to be the U curve, either U or the inverted U. Okay. Now what will be the case, sir? So what type of the parabola we have? We have U, or we also have inverted U, sir. Okay. So whenever you see, so just think about this. Whenever the coefficient over here is positive, I'm giving you 3 additional informations over here. One thing is the curve of quadratic will be parabola. You don't have to draw it. What happens? No, they'll directly give you the curve and ask you to write the coefficient of coefficient of x square. They'll give you options in case study, positive or negative. Then you will lose 1 mark there. Okay. So don't worry that you don't have to draw all this curve. This is just me explaining you everything. But they'll give you information from there to extract the answer. Okay. That's why this will be helpful. So 2x square is given like that. So I said the curve will be what? Of what kind? Parabola. If you don't understand parabola, forget about that. Remember U curve and inverted U curve. What is it? Either U curve or inverted U curve. 2 types of curve will be there. Okay. We'll draw one over here right now. Don't worry. So when we'll have U curve, whenever I have this coefficient of x square, whenever I have coefficient of x square, what? Positive. If it is positive, then U curve. If it is negative, then if coefficient is negative, the coefficient is negative, then I'll have what? Of what? Coefficient of again x square only. We'll have inverted U curve. Simple. This much you can understand and take it with you. Now what are the 0 points? So let's mark that on the curve. I have 1 and 3. So I can simply take x equals to 1. Where I'll take, bacha? I'll take here, right? Correct, na? This is my, let's say, point 1 and this is my point 3. Okay. The parabola will look like this, bacha. The parabola will look like this. It will all go to infinity. Both will go to infinity. Okay. This is the U curve. Okay. And this point where this convergence is happening, this point will be called as vertex. What is called as vertex. So what happens? Sometimes they'll ask you the coordinate of the vertex. What are you going to do? Very simple, sir. Project this point on x and y axis. Okay. From the graph, if they have given the graph, whatever is x coordinate, write that x coordinate. This is, let's say, this is my this is my y and this is my x. I'll write it over here as x comma y. Simple. Understand this. Given so much information, first thing is curve will be parabola or U curve. It will be direct or u will be there whenever it is positive. Inverted u when it is negative. Which is negative? The coefficient of x square. Next information I've given, plot it like this. How come like this, sir? See, the curve is parabola, we know. Curve is u parabola because u curve, because it is positive. 2 is there, 2 is a positive value. Okay, it is going through 1 and 3. How we know? From the zeros that we got. So do we have to find this 0 and the plotting the graph? No, they'll give you the graph. From there you have to find the zeros. I have done this just to show you over here. Okay, I've done this just to show you additional information. Okay, so 1 and 3. All right, now from there zeros are known, so the graph has to pass from this point. Okay, so again 1 and 3 are there like this, and the graph will go to infinity. The curve will go to infinity. The point where this, you can see this part, the slope is changing like this. Okay, forget about that. This convergence, you see this bouncing point over here is called as vertex. Okay, called as vertex, very important. And how will you find the coordinate? So we don't know. The graph will be given, then you can directly find x and y from here, no? Right? So all the information are given over here. I hope this was, I know it might be a little challenging for someone, but it's important. Okay, I don't want you to miss on the marks. Please have a look from the beginning. Okay, I'll move on to the next part. Now cubic is there. Cubic means what, bacha? Cubic means what? Have a look. So I can draw this. I can draw it like this. I can again do what? Same thing I can do. I can take 2 common. Okay, I think similar kind of curve is given in NCERT also. Okay, if not the same. How can I do it? 2. I can take x also common. I'm gonna get what? X square minus 9, I think. Yes, 2x into 9 is 18x. Correct, na? So I can factorize this. 2x, x minus 3, and x plus 3. How come, sir? X square minus 9 is how much? X square minus 3 square. X square minus 3 square. So a square minus b square. So x minus 3 and x plus 3. Simple enough. X minus 3 and x plus 3. Okay. Alright, so what are the zeros? So if you can see, I can put x equal to 0. If you put x equal to 0, this whole thing will become equal to 0. Correct? Because this x is there. Next I can put what? I can put plus 3. I put plus 3 here. 3 minus 3 will become what? 0. Whole thing will be 0. Next I can put what? Minus 3. Check here. I can put minus 3 over here. It will become minus 3 plus 3. Again 0. Whole thing will be 0. So let's put this graph on the point. So point on the graph. Forgive me. Minus 3, 0. And 3. So the curve will pass through both all these points. Okay, so it can be drawn like this. So okay, it's not going like this. So yeah, all right, 1 second. Okay, okay, all right, like this. Okay, now one more thing. Both conditions can be possible over here. I can do it like this also, bacha. Okay, but again that is not relevant to you. The graph itself is not relevant to you. Okay, the graph itself is not relevant to you. This type of graph is not relevant to you. But why did I draw it? Okay, I don't want to go into the depth of the how the graph, when the graph. I already given additional information in the quadratic part. Okay, cubic is not that much relevant to you. Why this is important? Because there's something we're gonna learn next is what? Number of zeros. So in this concept, what happens? You have to look for number of intersections with x-axis. So whatever is the curve. So if you see the cubic curve, how many intersections are there? Please check. 1, 2, and 3. So what are the values? So over here I have minus 3, over here I have 0, over here I have 3. For that reason, sir, 3 zeros. Okay. Then sir, you already plotted it over here, but we will not have to do this, bacha. This we don't have to do. Okay, they'll give you the curve. Either they'll ask you find the number of zeros, or they'll ask you what are the zeros of the given polynomial represented in the curve. So whether after looking at the curve itself, we can say 3 intersections, so 3 zeros. Since intersection point, if the values are given in the curve, in the graph, you can write minus 3, 0 and 3. Understand my point? You don't have to draw the graph, whether quadratic or cubic, you don't have to draw it. Okay, period. Next, what? By looking at the curve, you can find what? The number of zeros and what are those zeros if the marking is done on the graph. Simple enough. Moving on to the problems now. Okay. Okay, one more important announcement for you. If you are watching this video, okay, then let's get some benefit additional for you. What is that? So like every year, Diksha is organizing a scholarship test, okay, DSAT is organized at Diksha. So for that, what you have to do? Nothing, so you have to visit the link given in the description. Okay, over here you have to enroll yourself and get in touch with our team. Now what is this? What is the entire program? How does it benefit any student? Okay, why to engage this time on it? So first of all, being a 10th grader, okay, right now you're engaged in your preparation. After a month or so, you'll again be very busy with your preparation. Your pre-boards will start and everything. You'll not have any time. Okay, so this is the correct time to answer that question that you were having since the beginning. What to do after 10th? You're not having any clear answer about that. To get to know that answer, to get to reach the conclusion, okay, this is what I want to do with my career, sir, then that's the answer is what? For all the queries, the answer is DSAT. Do nothing, just take the DSAT, okay, visit our campuses, okay, and then what you can do, write this program. It's gonna be a 60 so it's total of 3-hour session. Okay, in that you have to write a aptitude test. Okay, this will also be a scholarship test, so based upon your score you can get a scholarship in the admissions if you are taking admissions with us. Okay, and what you can do, so what is the benefit of all of this? So benefit of all of this is that you can get to know whether you should go for engineering or go for your KSAT or JEE or NEET. Okay, if not, let's say I don't want to go for engineering or any competitive exams, then what stream should you choose? Whether you should go for science or commerce. Okay, in science also you should go for biology, medicine. I can do pharmacy or something like that. Okay, so all the questions or queries related your career choices will be answered if you are able to take this benefit. So make sure that you enroll into this and get your DSAT program. You get to know what you should do for your career next. All right, so moving on to the question now. Number of zeros. Okay, so as I already explained you while doing this cubic polynomial curve, okay, if there is two intersections, check your first case. So this has been talking only with respect to what? A quadratic polynomial. So this is how many zeros? So 2 zeros are there, sir. Intersection number 1 with the x-axis. Okay, so this is my intersection number 1, sir. This is my intersection number 2, sir. Okay, so this is my 0 number 1. This is 0 1, so which is a, and this is a dash. Okay, so means these values are going to represent what? The zeros. Means if you put it in the curve, so equation, or polynomial, you're going to get what? Y equals to 0. All right. Same thing over here. What do you have? You have only 1. So you have 1 0. Yes or no? Only 1 0. The last one, no zeros, sir. No zeros. How come no zeros, sir? Because there is no intersection with x-axis. This is important. Okay, the graph must cut x-axis or touch x-axis. Over here it is touching x-axis, so it has only 1 0. Okay, over here it is what you call not touching only. Forget about intersection. There is no touch with the x-axis. For that reason, this curve will have no zero. So this parabola curve, which will represent what? A quadratic polynomial, will have no real zeros. No real zeros. Okay, moving on. So now questions. I said after learning the concept, we'll solve some questions. Let's see the first one. So the graph of the quadratic polynomial px, okay, we don't know the polynomial, they've not given it, okay, passes through the point given like this. Have a look. So they've given 4 coordinates. Okay, so the graph is passing through these 4 coordinates. Find the zeros of the polynomial. So let's quickly draw the graph. Okay, so again we'll draw the x and y axis. Okay, the coordinates are given like this, bacha. The coordinates are what? Minus 2 comma 0. So somewhere here minus 2 comma 0, correct, on the negative side of x-axis. 0 comma minus 6, so x will be 0 over here. So 0 comma minus 6 will be over here. 0 comma minus 6. Next what? 2 comma minus 3. So 2 will be somewhere here. Okay, you'll have, let's say I can write it over here. So 2 comma minus 3. What next? 2 comma 0. So 2 comma 0. Okay, 2 comma 0. It cannot be 2 comma 0, right? Something else has to be there. I think it was 1 or something. It must have been 1. Okay, because at the same point you'll not have 2 values. Okay, so it'll be, if it is 2 comma 0, no, if it is x equals 2 comma 0, it can't be 2 comma minus 3, because this is 2, then how can this be 2? Okay, so I think there's a mistake. Okay, forgive me, I must have typed it wrong. This is 1, bacha. This is, so I'm going to take it out. 1 comma minus 3. 1 comma minus 3. Okay, so this is a point. Please take it here. Make the correction over here, please. This is what? What is this? 1 comma 3. I'll take it as 1 comma 3. No problem, sir. Okay. Now, so what they're saying is, please make this change. 1 comma minus 3 is there. Okay, 1 comma minus 3 will be plotted like this. 2 comma 0 is my other point where the graph is passing. So the graph is passing like this means what? If you know, so this is the graph going to be. Yes. So parabola, we know that. How come parabola, sir? Because it is what, bacha? It is a quadratic polynomial. Means parabola. Okay, passing like this means what? You'll have these other points. Okay, now what are they asking? Find the zeros. Simply we can say zeros are what? I hope you got all the answers. All of you got this answer, minus 2 comma 2. How come, sir? The graph intersection with x-axis. Where it intersects? At these 2 points. Look at the x-coordinate. X-coordinate is what? Minus 2 and 2. Minus 2 and 2. So what are the zeros? Minus 2 and 2. See? So even the graph is not given, very simple to draw. Okay, coordinates are given, we can draw it and get the result, zeros as minus 2 comma 2. Okay, I hope this is very simple. I hope you understood this. Please make this change. This is minus 1, this is 1 comma minus 3, not 2 comma minus 3. I think I typed it wrong. Okay, moving on. Okay, question number 2, using the graph, I told you graph will be given. Find the roots of the quadratic equation. Okay, very simple. All right, so if you check here, so if you check this graph, this point is what? At this point, what is x value? X value is minus 2. And this one, what is x value? X value is plus 4. The graph, the parabolic curve, intersects the x-axis at 2 points. Means 2 zeros. Means 2 zeros. So, if they're asking number of zeros, you'll write what? Number of zeros is what? Is 2. And what are the zeros? The zeros will be simply what? It will be minus 2 comma 4. Minus 2 comma 4. Okay? Simple. Minus 2 comma 4. All right. So moving on to the next problem. Okay. All right. So what is it? Draw the upward parabolic curve. They have already given. Upward means you have to take the u part. Okay. Of the quadratic polynomial with the zeros. They have given zeros also. Root 7 and minus root 7. Simple question. Okay. Like this. Correct now? This is my coordinate axis. Upward means I have to draw the u part. Okay. But they have given the zeros, so negative root 7 will come where? Over here, minus root 7. Okay, I can write it on this side like this, minus root 7. And what is this? Somewhere root 7. Somewhere root 7. Okay, so how will the curve look like? Okay, I know it doesn't look like a perfect U, but this is the answer. So this is my curve. Okay, so actually if they ask you what is the polynomial, you can do it as well. What is it? X plus root 7 and x minus root 7. Yes or no? Yes, correct. If you want, you can put a constant k, because we don't know what is the constant over here. Just additional information. This is the answer. This is your answer. No need of this extra part. Okay, but if you want to, this is additional information, because we don't know constant k. Okay, there can be a constant k. I can have a 2 or 3 or anything over here, doesn't matter, because this will become 0 when I put x as minus root 7. Put here x as minus root 7. Minus root 7 plus root 7 will become 0. So yes, sir, this is a 0. What about this? Put x equals to root 7. Will be 0, sir. So this is a 0. So I can put a constant k outside, no? Yes. So my answer will be what? Simply check here. A plus b, a minus b. So x square minus root 7 square. Okay. How much is that? K times of x square minus 7. Okay. This is my polynomial px. If you want to know how to get the polynomial also. Okay. So this is it. We have completed this particular session. I hope this is visible to you. Moving on. So in the next session we're going to talk about the relationship between the coefficient and the zero of the polynomial. Okay, we'll solve again a lot of questions on that and complete that particular topic and complete the chapter also in the next session. Okay, so this is it for the today's session. I have talked about only graphical method, okay, and only graphical approach to the zeros of the polynomial. I know this was something additional, but I really wanted to do this, so I came here and took a session for you. I hope you found this helpful. You know, if you have any queries, if you found this helpful, please comment in the comment sections as a okay, so it was helpful. If any other questions, any other queries, do let me know. Okay, so keep smiling, keep working hard. I'll see you in the next session. This is it for today. Okay, take care. Bye bye.